It's Monday again. Can you believe it? So we are going to be using the Moonology Manifestation Oracle Deck today in class. I've already chosen the 2 cards for the collective. If you are new and you don't know how this process works, what I do is I intuitively select cards. I keep them face down. I first show them to the class, give you an opportunity to practice listening to your intuition and tuning into which card for you feel resonates more. So this was card number 1, card number 2, and you can just throw in a 1 or a 2 or both in the chat. And if you also want to share how the information comes through, maybe you have some sort of physical sensation, flash of an image, just a knowing. Card number 1, and then I'll hop right into the collective readings for the week ahead. Let's see what the actual dates are. June 9th through the 16th. Can't talk about it. Card 2. This month's going to be half over in a week. Hey, Jamie. All right, last time. I'll be quiet for this one. Card number 1. And number 2. All right, wonderful. This deck in particular, it has imagery for 4 main moon phases, as well as the 12 zodiac signs. So it also layers on some of that imagery and symbolism on top of whatever it actually has written on the card. So what I was getting right away is just a flash of a bunch of images. I was getting symbolism from what felt like a lot of previous weeks, and they're just kind of flashing, and then all of a sudden it's like when you have in movies where like the edits start getting really, really, really fast and poof, it just stops. And then we're just zeroed in on a pause. So it feels like it's a sacred pause, but it's a focus point. It's like it's coming across as a linchpin. It's something that is in part holding everything together, but it's the pivot point that we can completely redirect based on this. Like the leverage, like we can use that. We have the momentum of everything coming into this, and we can kind of swing around and then, slingshot into a new and different direction. All right, so when are we doing this week? Right away. Right away we're doing this. This could be happening at any point. Tonight, or my time, 5:02 p.m. Eastern Time, Jupiter's entering Cancer. So that is a new chapter. So that could make sense in we're launching something. That is a big energy. It's taking a lot and then it is moving it into a different life area. So plausible, it's picking up on that. And I'm getting, but then there's shock waves through the rest of the week. So it's not just, well, later today we start a new chapter. Wonderful. Because we had all this energy coming up behind us. And if we are, because how it keeps coming in is it's like you're coming around a turn, and then some of it just like ricochets off. There's like some extra that just comes off of you as you are making the turn, because you're having to grab onto this leveraging point. And so then it's like, it's not that you lose some of the momentum, but that it comes off of you. This is just how it's being described. And it ripples throughout the rest of the week. And it's not, so how it's coming in is it's not a turn of a page, otherwise it would have just come through that way. Like it's not as clean as, we're ending a chapter and we're starting a new one. We're closing the book, we're opening a new one. There's a big piece of momentum with this, and that it is carrying it's carrying what we have had before, what we've been experiencing in previous weeks and months. And we're taking a little bit of that with us, and we can't just drop all of it. So some of it will continue to shed and drop away, but also just the impact of us really dramatically moving into a new energy, into a new space, focus. It not that it's messy, but not that it's clean. It's just it's not a sharp start and finish. Preoccupied isn't exactly the right word, but we, like I said before, we have enough things on our plate. And I'm getting back to the sacred pause, which I had at the beginning. It's like just kind of focusing on that, doing whatever we can to try to come back to what's here now, because otherwise there's a lot happening and swirling around us, and a lot that we're carrying and that we are being asked to release. So just trying to simplify. It feels like, how can this be as simple as possible? Because there is change. There is that new beginning. But because it's not just a hard cut, we're carrying a lot, plus anything else that we happen to already have in progress. Last quarter moon in Gemini, clear your mind. So reason this is funny, number one, I was talking about Jupiter before. Jupiter's leaving Gemini. And when you have a last quarter, it's usually reflecting on the culmination period. So like, how did that go? How can I prepare for a new beginning? So we're literally in that right now. and the ending is in a matter of hours today, and we're preparing for that new beginning. So that's a sidebar. But the clear your mind piece, I think, is most relevant to what I've been talking about. There's a lot going on. There's a lot swirling that we're doing, and coming back to the present moment and trying to clear and release the excess energy, the preoccupations, and not getting too caught up in that, because yes, there is a lot going on. That's okay. We can reconcile with that and just give ourselves, some deep breaths, some space to let go of the things that we don't need to think about, that we don't need to do, that aren't urgent, that aren't the most important, and just keep trying to come back to the present moment as we move forward, because that feels like it's the most useful tool to navigate through this change period. A landscape painting, and it's being ripped open at the center, and it's like we're starting to climb into the painting. It's almost like a portal going to the other side. I guess that is interesting, because portal slightly gives new chapter energy, but it feels like it's in a different way. It feels more transformative rather than what we've been talking about of existing where we are now and harnessing that to redirect. This feels like when you enter a portal, you are fully going somewhere else. I was asking, what's on the other side? Like, where is it that we're going? Because it's giving like a Narnia vibe. So look, what is on the other side of the painting as we enter through it, and how it came through is it's whatever we want it to be. Like, it's an adventure of our own making. We have a lot of autonomy in crafting what that world looks like, what it represents, how it's serving and supporting us. And I just keep getting that it's an adventure. And it can be fun figuring it out along the way. Kind of deciding how we want it to be, how we want to experience it. With this portal, it's like we really feel like we are somewhere else, operating on a different plane. We're not escaping, we're exploring. And I see us gathering something up. So as the 2 months are coming to a close, we've decided to take some things with us. So it's not that it's just a fleeting experience and it's a state of impermanence. It's like, it feels like, but we do get something out of this. We literally and figuratively can take something or many things, I'm seeing us grab multiple items, away from this exploration, from this adventure, whatever plane we are on doing this. And as long as we can remind ourselves of that it is practical. We're exploring to see what we can find, to see what we can learn or we can take with us rather than viewing it as escaping. It feels like I just was getting additional context to explain that. First quarter moon in Sagittarius, believe in your good luck. Number one reason that this is perfect. We're talking about exploring Sagittarius. That's great. Number two, which I'll get into more when we do the analysis, but we had first quarter for Gemini, and so we have, last quarter for Gemini, and this is first quarter. So we have opposite quarters, but both of them are reflection points. So they're still carrying a similar energy. Gemini and Sagittarius are also sister signs. So in a lot of ways, these are similar but opposite energies. Believe in your good luck. To me, this clicks in the sense that we're talking about being able to go on this journey, whatever this is, to explore, and then the things that we're going to get out of it. Going in knowing we're going to get something out of it. What fortune to have that, because we don't always know. And this one's like, no, we're going to get something out of this. We are going to learn or be able to physically take something with us, inherit something, be gifted something. First reading. We had a lot of momentum energy. We have a lot of things going on, tasks that we're doing, things that we're thinking about, and we're harnessing the momentum as we are going around the bend here because we're going to completely pivot. There are ripple effects of this because inherently when you do something like that, you're having to release some energy because you lose some momentum when you hold on to that and swing around physics. And also because we are taking with us the things that we have been focusing on and thinking about. We're not dropping our responsibilities as we go into a new chapter, our worries, our fears, etc. We still are taking some of that, most of that with us. So it's a process of shedding because we will lose some of that energy and momentum, but we are keeping most of it as we move forward, pointed towards something different. And there's ripple effects of that throughout the whole week. And the encouragement, in part tied to this card, is to keep coming back to the present moment. Because we have so much going on, it is a period of a lot of shifts. And in our mind, it can feel a little overwhelmed with everything that's happening. And the way forward, the way to keep going, because we're not stopping anywhere in this process, we're still moving forward. We're just maybe moving a little left or a little right of where we were moving before. And the way to keep that momentum going, to keep that growth going, to keep checking the things off that we need to check off our list, is to come back to the mind. And last quarter moon in Gemini, clear your mind. Mindfulness practices, staying present as much as possible, deciding what you don't need anymore to prepare for your new beginning. Last quarter, we're preparing for a new beginning. Let's get rid of some of those things on our to-do list that we don't need and saying what is the most important, and just because everything is changing and shifting around us. So whatever we can do to simplify will be a really, really big help and will have even more of an impact than we think. The expectation is not that we're cutting everything off of our to-do list because it doesn't feel like it's feasible. We kind of have a lot of things to do, a lot of things to think about. and that will continue through this week. But if there's any little things, lower hanging fruit that we can get rid of, do a little bit of shedding, do some mindfulness, meditation work to help reset your mind, clear out some of the clutter and noise, that feels very supportive so that we can keep going because things are not going to stop around us. We have a lot happening. And it's just, okay, let's navigate it. Here's a very simple suggestion. For our second reading, we have a painting that we have ripped open and we are starting to climb through. We are entering a portal to go on an adventure. It'll last approximately 2 months. And all we know from this is we're going to take something away from it, literally or metaphorically. We're going to learn something. We're going to be gifted something. We're going to inherit something. And this all goes along with our first quarter moon in Sagittarius. Believe in your good luck. Sagittarius is the adventurer, is the philosopher, wants to learn, wants to understand. So we're going out there, we're entering whatever this portal is. It's not escapism, it's exploration. That's how it came in. So we are exploring with intention. We want to learn something, we want to grow. Examples that I was giving, maybe it's a class you're taking, a trip that you're going on, a book that you're reading. Anything that's allowing you to open your mind to understand more, experience more. And we're going into this 2-month journey knowing, believing in our good luck, knowing we will learn something, we will receive something. There is fortune to come from this in whatever form that happens to take. It could be knowledge, it could be friendship, connection, resources, lots of different options. We had last quarter and first quarter. These are both reflection cards. We are, in the first reading, we're reflecting as we prepare to start a new chapter. For our second card, we are preparing as we start to get to the point of culmination, to reach the pinnacle. So that's why we're receiving. We're also receiving things. We're gaining more light. The moon is gaining more light as we get to that full moon. Hold on. Hold the phone. We have a full moon this week in Sagittarius. That's perfect too. Literally, I'm saying we're preparing for a full moon and it's in this sign. That's funny. So the 2 connection points, I mentioned this before. Today, we have Jupiter exiting Gemini. So it's ending this chapter and preparing for the new one going into Cancer. And then this one feels like it's corresponding to the full moon in Sagittarius. That's really funny. So these cards feel like they're astrologically playing off of what's going on right now. So we have that. We also have the fact that these are sister signs. In astrology, it means that they are on the opposite side of the chart, and the sister signs work with each other. So they are equal and opposite in many ways. Both of these signs collect knowledge, but they do it through different ways. And they collect knowledge and they distribute knowledge. Very commonly, teachers in different capacities. So they want to learn, they want to share it. With Sagittarius, they want to act on it. Hence why it was about exploration. We're not escaping. That's more Piscean. We are acting on it. We're looking. We're trying to be out there, to engage, to understand. And then we want to take something with us so that we can take further action. Sagittarius is a fire sign. We want to do something with what we're learning. We want to have kinetic learning, being engaged in that process. And for Gemini, we're kind of, because of the nature of this, we're in our mind, it's Mercury ruled. So we are learning things, we're dealing with things, but we're actually being called to do the opposite of maybe what you would normally think of for Gemini, because we're trying to do our best to think about less because we have a lot of things to do and there's overwhelm. So this is more of the low vibrational side of Gemini. So Gemini could be overthinking, be overstimulated mentally. And so we're trying to tend to that part of this sign. In regards to these happening simultaneously, for our first reading, we are harnessing our existing reality in life, doing some shedding and moving into, really we're just redirecting. We're redirecting. But for our second reading, we're temporarily transporting into something different. So I honestly, it feels like these are pretty separate. There's a slim chance, how it's coming through. There's a slim chance that wherever you are transporting is for one area of life that's very specific, and this is the rest of your life. Because the whole idea behind the first reading is it's supposed to be capturing everything we have going on. We have so many things going on, so many things happening in the world, and we are harnessing all of that in order to redirect. And then the mental clearing comes from trying to sort through some of that while still moving. Air sign, still moving. If we were to simultaneously engage in this exploration, we need to have enough of the bandwidth. And this first reading, it didn't feel like we have so much bandwidth. We're just like, okay, just got to cut a few things off my to-do list because there's so much going on. So I feel a little hard pressed to be saying that we could do these at the same time. This is definitely not moving from one into the other. This just feels so busy. Reading number 1 is really busy. And if part of our challenge and our lesson this week is to try to create more headspace, it doesn't feel like we're going to be able to create enough headspace to do this. Maybe by the end of the week. Maybe if we're really proactive by the end of the week, because this is a 2-month process. That feels like that's the way. That feels comfortable. So if we're putting in the work to clear our mind, get present, check some things off our to-do list, but also just really deprioritize, get things off of our plate, delegate out, or table them, just get rid of them. Like, you know what? It's not important. Doesn't matter now. Maybe it was important 6 months ago, but the time has come and gone, so forget it. If we can do that enough over the course of this week, then maybe by the end, maybe we're talking a Sunday, we could start this process because we know this process is going to be 2 months long. That buys us the time. That feels like that's appropriate. that is more feasible, because this requires a lot. And again, this is we're starting that portal this week. So you could start it right away. You could start it at the tail end.